So I want to talk about something that might seem a bit random. This is unscripted, and it's something that I never thought I'd have to talk about, and it's really unfortunate, but I just want to talk about how the gaming space is still so very toxic, but mostly it's just toxic for females. I really have been lucky in that I really haven't experienced this very much. I remember one instance on Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, where a guy basically blocked me because he thought I was trying to trick him into the fact that I was a female. And I kept telling him, no, I'm actually a female, playing a female character, and I thought it was funny at the time. But the more that I kind of analyzed the situation, I was like, wow, all those jokes about females don't exist in gaming or that sort of thing, it's really, really true. I find that there's a lot of misrepresentation of females. I mean, obviously there's people that take advantage of the fact that they're female. We have our e-girls, we have VTubers and stuff with really cute avatars, and they're really working with what they have. They understand the influence that they can have just in appearance alone, which most of them do have great personalities, don't get me wrong, but ultimately their draw is that they are cute, they are pretty, and men are drawn to that. And they work with it. They embrace this, which is totally fine. But I think it's sad that this is pretty much the only time that we kind of get any sort of representation. Any gamer girl that I've seen, on stream and stuff, a lot of them have their hair done, their makeup done, whatever. And it's just I know that some girls will do that on a regular, but it's me, when I play games, I'm just in my PJs. I might not have brushed my hair. It depends on how early I woke up. I'm not trying to look good for anybody because I'm just playing a video game, and I know some girls just do it for themselves. It makes them feel good, but ultimately they know that they're in front of an audience and that the audience not only expects, them to perform well, but expects them to kind of have that visage, that visual look of, how they envision a pretty girl gamer to be. I hate that stereotypes still exist that girls can't play games, that they're not good at games, that they shouldn't be allowed in games. And again, this isn't really something that I've experienced up until a lot, at least, until recently, right? Every once in a while I'll get heckled for being a female. I'll be on a game, I'll speak on my mic, and someone will be like, oh wow, you're a girl? Can't believe that. And they'll usually talk about how cool it is, because they barely ever run across any females. And they'll be like, oh yeah, no, I barely run into any girls, or I haven't really seen a girl in this game in particular, which is usually Sea of Thieves. And then me and the guy, we'll start getting along really well, I hold my own, I play the game seriously, I try and get shit done, and I'm usually well respected for that. So even though it starts off kind of weird with them going, holy crap, you're a girl, it usually ends up okay. And like I said, I've been really, really fucking lucky in this regard. But today, I don't even know. I know that Sea of Thieves is one of those games that kind of breeds toxicity because it's full of griefers and it's full of people that want to talk smack like they're playing COD and that sort of thing. I get it. I do. I understand the atmosphere because it's heavy PvP, and any game that is solely focused on PvP or heavily focused on PvP is gonna be toxic. That's just a rule of thumb. I've been there, done that, I understand. But I immediately joined what I thought was going to be an alliance server because they were looking for 11 people to stack on a fort or whatever. And the minute I got in there, I got the usual, holy crap, it's a girl, there's a woman in this game, I can't believe it. And then all of a sudden I ended up getting spammed with girl emojis, and the text-to-speech was just going insane. Couldn't have a conversation with anybody, had to end up muting people, and then you have 5 guys that end up freaking throwing around the hard R, just throwing slurs everywhere, freaking threatening to mute people. It just turned into a mess. And finally, when we muted the people that were doing text-to-speech and just being absolute freaking trolls, I thought, oh hey, maybe we can get something done. And I was like, hey guys, I still need an invite. And I was immediately met with, shut up, bitch. Nobody asked you to open your mouth. And I was just blown away. Why would you talk to somebody like that? Especially for asking a question when we're all trying to coordinate and we're trying to get to the same area, right? And then the same dude ended up throwing out some hard R's. And then I get met with, show me your tits. Or how big are your tits? And then I get thrown out with, and then someone throws out the, how grippy are you on a scale to 1 to 10? Right? Just instant sexual harassment for no fucking reason, just because I'm a female, right? So then I quit that party, because I'm like, okay, this is not worth my time, right? Normally I would take these things as a joke, but when you have 5 different people literally just asking you to talk about your breasts, talk about how grippy you are, that sort of thing, like, that's uncalled for. It's disgusting behavior, and I can't stand it. So I quit. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna fight them. And I didn't throw a fit, I didn't throw a tantrum. You know, that kind of just validates them. If you sit there and scream and fuss and go, how dare you, that's disgusting, right? You're not really proving a point. You're literally just proving their point, which is you're too sensitive, right? So I just didn't say nothing, I quit. And they tried to invite me back, and I just didn't accept. Didn't block them, but I just didn't accept, you know? I'm just gonna ignore them, just not give them the attention that they want. So then I joined another party, and it was the same fucking thing. Immediately when I joined, it was me and somebody else, and they had a female profile picture, same as I do. Again, because that's just, I am female, but at the same time, like, I just like having that as my profile picture. And immediately, the other female starts talking. Now, I don't know this person's pronouns. I'm not gonna assume their pronouns. But the voice was masculine-ish, right? And that's just from my opinion. And so, again, I'm not going to assume this person's pronouns. So immediately, the guys running the chat that had invited me and this other person were like, oh shit, are you a femboy? Are you guys femboys? And again, it shouldn't fucking matter. We're all just playing the game. It doesn't matter whether I'm female, whether I'm a femboy, whether I'm whatever, you know. My gender has nothing to do with my ability to play the game and be efficient and good at it. And the other person was like, no, I'm female. I mean, can't you see my profile picture? And they're like, yeah, but you sound like a man, though. Just instant fucking harassment, because the person's like, okay, but I said I'm female, right? And I wasn't gonna deal with it. Again, I just left the party. I didn't even say anything this time, you know? I didn't even say like, oh yeah, no, I'm a female or whatever. Because instantly they were just going on like, oh bro, if you're a femboy, I'm gonna kick you, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I wasn't gonna deal with that. I don't deal with homophobia, transphobia. I don't deal with that bullshit. So again, I just didn't say nothing. I just left, right? Now, the other person did try to invite me to a party. I should have just accepted them, but again, I don't know if they're also a troll, because they were laughing the entire time. I don't know if they were laughing because they were uncomfortable or what, but again, it just wasn't something I was gonna fucking deal with, you know? And so, I finally joined a third party, and I'm like, okay, it was basically a party finder that said, hey, we're just a chill galleon, we're just looking to do gold hoarders. And I was like, you know, I really like gold hoarders, I like chill stuff, like, let's do it, right? Instantly, I'm thrown into this party with a dude that goes, oh, hey, and I'm like, hi, and then they're like, are you a femboy? Like, I should have just quit right then, but I finally just said, no, I'm not, I'm a female. And then it's like, oh, so you're not a femboy then? I was like, no. And I was like, I'm a female, and it doesn't matter. And they're like, no, you're right. I was just curious because your profile picture. Again, I don't know what my profile picture has to do with it, but obviously it was important to these people. Again, I'll never understand it, but whatever. I mean, to each their own, I suppose. And so, you know, it's just one of those things where I was just deeply disturbed by what was happening, because I've never experienced this in my life. And there was another person in the party. The first person was lazy bones, and the second person was lit something whatever, you know. I don't care. I hated their guts. And just this kid immediately was just like, bro, you know, you're so hot, all this other, just literally sounded like a 14-year-old kid talking about how he was gonna bust a nut and, you know, come and all this other stuff. Like, just disgusting behavior, right? And immediately I tried to shut it down. I was like, hey, that's enough, you know? I tried to speak up and like, hey, no, stop. And they're like, oh, we were just, And then Lit was like, oh, I was just trying to see if I could make you uncomfortable enough to where you'd leave, but, you know, you didn't, so we're cool, right? Alright, so I thought maybe they were just testing me, which again, I don't think is cool. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm like, you know, I'll let it go. You know, let's just sail. So I get into the game, and immediately Lit just takes off with the boat. You know, it's just causing a bunch of problems, being an absolute troll. Again, my indicators were like, okay, I should just quit. I should just leave this game. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's not gonna be good. You know, you can basically tell right away when someone's not cooperative and things are just gonna go bad. So we got lucky enough that we ended up spawning near some rare treasure. We went to a sunken ship. There was some treasure under there. Lit tried lying, saying there was no treasure. And I was like, no, there's actual fucking treasure. And one of the rarest things in the game was just spawned right there. So I was sitting there trying to cooperate with these guys in order to get it. And you have one dude just standing on the ship doing absolutely nothing. You have, you know, the other guy just running his mouth and just, again, just saying all these disgusting things. So we finally get attacked by a sloop, and I was like, okay, the sloop's after the box, I understand, right? So we ended up fighting these guys off somehow, and we got the box, and I was like, okay, we're gonna sail. I decided to take control. I was like, alright, we got the box. Drop sails, we're heading to Reapers. Point me in the direction, right? No cooperation whatsoever. Freaking Lit wouldn't let go of the map, couldn't find Reapers, wouldn't give me a direction. Again, should have had one guy adjusting sails so we kept wind, just didn't fucking happen. I ended up running the whole boat, and the entire time I'm just being harassed. I'm being told, damn, you're sassy, girl, I like it when you do that. Or, damn, girl, you sound like a mom, like, you're gonna make me bust, or all this other crap, right? And then at some point we end up killing the guys that are, you know, fighting us, and literally Lazy's response was, hey, Lit, jump into game chat and call him every slur that you know of. Like, that's not okay. Like, this behavior is not okay. I don't know where we as gamers think it's okay to just throw around hard R's and just, like, say whatever the fuck we want just because we're either winning or losing. Like, rage is one thing. Sometimes I understand things get said when we're angry. But even then, there's a level of self-control that should be practiced here. There's a level of maturity that should be practiced here. And I'm sitting there getting attacked by two people who are literally just harassing me. Like, sexually harassing me, making me uncomfortable, being absolutely disgusting, not playing the game. And finally, when Lit's like, damn, Sam, do you hate me that much? And I was like, actually, yeah, I do. Then both of them were like, damn, like, what the fuck? No. You don't get to sexually harass me the entire time we've been playing, the whole 30-something minutes that we've been playing, and you're asking about my boobs, you're asking about my age, you're asking about, like, all this other sensitive information that is none of your damn business. You don't get to ask me these questions and then ask me if I hate you. Like, literally, you can't even play the game. You're throwing around slurs, you sound like you're 14. You're literally sexually harassing a 30-year-old? You know, like, that's gross. That is absolutely gross. And the thing is like, I'm one of those people that I like to root for the younger generation. I think that because of how technologically advanced the new generation is, I think that they're very smart. I think that they're very cunning, very clever. And then you have idiots like that literally are the representation of that generation in the media. Like, literally, the news will be like, oh yeah, look at these guys, like, kids are out of control, kids have no respect, kids have whatever. And it's because of people like that. So finally, as we're going to sell the treasure, I kind of made the decision that I'm not putting up with this anymore. I don't have to put up with this anymore. And so I was like, you know what? Like, this is too much. I'm not doing it. I was like, hey guys, how about I do you a favor? When we get to an outpost, I'll drop a quest for you so that you can get the Skull of Destiny, and then you guys can go do Fort of the Damned. Like, I was still willing to do something nice for them. It was a very simple quest. It's a Pirate Legend level quest. I was still willing to do it for them so that they could still go and do something worthwhile. I just did not want to participate. And that's when they're like, damn, you really hate us this much or whatever. And then Lit was like, hey, if I leave, because he was the main antagonist, he's like, hey, if I leave, will you still play with Lazy? And I was like, no, probably not. And instantly I was met with, damn, okay, I see how it is. Alright, yeah, that's how it is. Don't ask me a question if you don't want an answer. You know, you don't get to treat somebody like that and then expect them to play with you. Like, no. I'm a pirate legend in this game. I actually want to achieve stuff. I don't deal with trolls. I don't like people just goofing off for the sake of goofing off. Sea of Thieves takes such a long time to play. It takes hours to sail to places, to dig up treasure, to actually sell it. Then there's the threat of PvP at every freaking corner. You know, we ended up losing to that sloop. They ended up stealing our chest. The rare treasure that we got. They ended up stealing it because Lit was on the phone with his girlfriend or whatever, wasn't paying attention, and yeah, ended up getting the box stolen. Like, absolutely pointless because he just was not paying attention. And the thing that bugs me is that I told Lazybones, like, hop off the ship, sell it, you know? Get ready. And he handed it to Lit because Lit's like, no, hand it to me, hand it to me. Like, if you know your friend's trash, and you know your friend's a freaking troll, why would you hand him, like, one of the better items in the game? Why would you give him that responsibility? Again, it's just something I don't understand. It just shows that there's no level of cooperation here. Like, these people are absolutely just stupid. And they were just disgusting. You know, between asking me about my genitals, and asking me about my breasts, and asking me, like, all these questions, and basically, literally... It's so weird to say, but literally Lit was acting like he was moaning in the mic and saying like, girl, I'd do this to you, or girl, I'm gonna do this to you, right? It's literally verbal molestation, which is disgusting. You know, I'm glad I'm gay, for one. It's, you know, and it kind of reminds me of, you know, the fact that I'm glad that I'm gay, because I don't get this harassment from other females. I only get it from men, which I think is disgusting. And these weren't even men, these were boys, which I think is even more disgusting, because honestly, they were probably minors, which is even more disgusting, which is why I didn't really say much to them, because I don't know their age, and it would sound wrong and feel wrong. But I don't think you should be able to talk to anybody like that. I shouldn't have to deal with that, where literally someone's like, girl, I would do this to you, or I'm gonna do this to you, or I'm gonna do this while you're doing this. Like, no, that's gross. It's hideous. It's toxic. And this is why, like, I hate being a female in gaming sometimes, because this is the crap we have to deal with, like, on a normal freaking basis. And I don't even have it as bad as other people, because I don't play multiplayer games. You know, and all of a sudden I'm being told, like, oh, I bet you play Fortnite, I bet you play Overwatch, I bet you play Valorant, I bet you queue up all these characters. Just instantly stereotyping me as someone that does all this shit. I don't play Fortnite. I think Fortnite's trash. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't play Overwatch or Valorant. I don't know any of the characters. I don't know any of the lore. Okay, I don't play the stereotypical gamer e-girl bullshit that they play, like, on Twitch, right? I play Sea of Thieves, which is about as multiplayer as I get outside of, like, Fallout 76. I'll play Borderlands 3 with a friend, and that's about it. Other than that, you're not really gonna see me play any multiplayer game unless it's an MMO, and even then, I play solitary, like, 90% of the time, because I hate people. So, like, again, this reminds me why I hate people, but it's just disgusting to be stereotyped and to be treated like that. Like, absolutely disgusted. Like, the homophobia, the transphobia, the general toxicity, like, this is not how I remember Sea of Thieves community for the most part, unless you're doing PvP. But yeah, no, those players were absolute trash, and so I blocked them, like, because, yeah, shit like that shouldn't be allowed. Like, I should have reported them. Should have recorded it and should have reported them, should have gotten them kicked from the game. Like, if I were their parent, I'd be highly disappointed in them, because, like, that's just not okay. But anyways, that's my rant. Like, shit be toxic for females, you know, and men, do better. Like, do fucking better. Like, don't be disgusting. That's all I gotta say about it, really.